Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video. Some lessons learned from Hurricane Helene. You guys know I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, and we were on the outskirts of the storm as it made its way from the Gulf up north. Um, it traveled on the western part of South Carolina, and as we all know, went up to North Carolina and Tennessee. Me and my family were fine. All we had was a loss of power for about 2 hours. It was in the AM. Currently, we don't have internet. I think Spectrum has been there. They said there's going to be internet's going to be out for an indefinite amount of time, but thankfully, I still have service on my phone. I know Verizon has been having issues concerning other customers, I guess due to the storm. But right now, I can still use my phone and record and things like that. But there were a couple lessons I learned. It kind of also relates to a lot of the videos that I used to see on YouTube, a lot of prepping videos, which we haven't seen for a good while now, aside from a few channels. But there were some things that came up that used to be in discussions, used to be like topic discussions. Someone would make a video and someone would do like a reply. They'll do a video in response to to someone's comment. First thing I'd say I learned from this storm is community is very important. The idea that used to be floated around about being like a lone wolf or kind of being a gray man or being by yourself, not really interacting with other people, it ain't gonna cut it. It won't cut it in SHTF, and it was evident from this storm because many people had to rely on their neighbors for help, which is a good thing, as opposed to having to rely on like local, state, or federal officials to come and save you, which meant that you could have been sitting, in the same spot and the storm could just hit you, and you'd be SOL. But I think having good neighbors, having a good sense of community, having a strong ties with people who don't live in your who live outside of your house, even outside your immediate neighborhood, is a good thing to have. I know I'm pretty sure a lot of people had to rely on the kindness of others to help them out. I was on the Columbia subreddit, and there were people there was someone who was asking about someone who could do tree removal. Someone who does anyone want a chainsaw, and someone answered the ad, which I think was which is very nice. Because I think it'd be foolish to try to make it through something like that by yourself when you could potentially receive help from someone else, but more importantly, offer help to somebody who's in need. I think it's good for your soul. You know that you actually helped someone in a time of peril instead of just staying on the sidelines and just letting what happens. So I think it's good to see people get together and help one another out. So that's the first thing. First lesson I say is community is very important. Second thing, make sure your equipment is up to par. I have two generators. You guys know the one, my Lincoln Welding Power is a welder and a generator, but I also have a small 8 horsepower Coleman generator. It has a 8 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. I fixed it up a few years back, and not too long ago, I found out why it's bad to have ethanol gasoline inside your equipment, especially any equipment that you may have to rely on in an emergency. A few years ago, my generator wouldn't start up. I tried cranking it up, wouldn't start. So I had dropped the carburetor and looked inside the bowl, and it was filled with it looked like oxidized aluminum. What happened was that the gasoline I had used it the last time was had ethanol in it, and I believe the ethanol oxidized the aluminum inside the carburetor bowl, and just pieces and pieces of aluminum and aluminum oxide flaked off and just filled the entire bowl and basically clogged the entire system at the bottom of the carburetor. So I had to order a whole new carburetor, and make sure that which I now do, I use ethanol-free fuel, or I use a fuel conditioner, usually by Lucas or Stabil, something that conditions the fuel to be used in any type of fuel system, so it counteracts the effects of ethanol in your fuel system to keep it from damaging it. I lent my generator to one of my wife's coworkers. He had a freezer full of meat. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to spoil. So I offered. She suggested that I offer my generator, which I had no problem doing. And I had to check the fuel system in it. You know, but it just had old fuel. It wouldn't start up, so I was able to purge out the old fuel from the bottom of the carburetor. It started right up, which then prompted me to check the Lincoln welding power, and that wouldn't start up. And it turns out the fuel tank may be on its way out because the inside of the fuel line had a lot of kind of rust buildup. So I guess there was like a lot of rust sediment inside the peacock, right? Which was the peacock, the fuel filter, and then the carburetor, and there was just a lot of built up rust that clogged everything up. So it's always good to make sure that your fuel system is is in top notch. Basically, your equipment is in top notch as best it can be, and or at least that you know how to properly manage the machine. So where if you do run into any issues, you can rebound. You can rebound and get it back in working order. Identifying leadership. So we saw, as we all know, we're in election season. Trump proved once again why he's fit for the job. He went out to Georgia. He gave, if I remember correctly, $25 million of his own money to help with the relief after the storm. So he was out there, helping with communicating with the people, giving press conferences, just things like that. At least being on the scene where the storm had hit and showing support for those who are trying to get things cleaned up. But that's very important. Contrast that with this current administration with Biden and Harris nowhere to be seen. I'll get there when I get there, that kind of attitude, and it doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. So I think being able to identify good leadership is something that's very important, especially during a time of disasters. And aside from that, just pray. Pray for yourself. Be thankful of what it is that you do have. Many people lost their lives, lost their homes, lost loved ones. So I think it's a great time to be thankful for whatever little bit you have. Again, the only thing we just lost internet, and we lost power for 2 hours. We didn't go through what many other people are going through, especially people in Asheville. That place is totally destroyed. And I can say that one encouraging thing was, I really haven't heard. The only story of looting that I heard of was from illegal immigrants. They're apparently going into abandoned properties in Tennessee, but they were caught. They were caught and arrested. That was a good thing. But I didn't really hear much of a lot of crime going on. I think one store got broke. I think a Dollar Tree got broken into in Columbia. Probably the night that Friday, the Thursday night, early Friday morning when the storm really passed by here. But there wasn't a lot of crime aside from those two instances. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I hope you guys are doing well. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those who did suffer any type of loss throughout the storm. I think we have another storm coming up behind Helene, so be on the lookout for that. Hopefully you got all your, if your preps are lacking, hopefully you'll be able to, catch up on whatever it is that you need to fix right away. And just stay prepared. Stay prepared the best you can. But that's my video. Just a few things I want to share with you guys that after the storm had passed. What do you guys think? Did you suffer any loss? What was your experience in the storm? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help out with the channel, go to my homepage on YouTube. Look for the PayPal link and the Cash App link. All donation amounts are appreciated. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see if I can address them. That's my video. Lessons learned after Hurricane Helene. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care. Be safe. Stay strapped. And God bless.